Happy Friday, boys and girls. Let's begin our session by saying our pledges. If you'll please stand, salute and pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And now the Oklahoma state flag. Salute and pledge. I salute the flag of the state of Oklahoma. Its symbols of peace unite all people. There are around 200 countries in the world. And I love this little poster I have of all of the flags of the world. And the reason I'm showing this to you is in your lesson plans next week, you're going to be asked to select some different countries, draw the flag, use your ruler so you get the lines nice and straight and the designs, and do your best to copy the design of some of these flags and color them. As you also do some research about some different countries, I will tell you that several years ago, we had a couple of students who were in aftercare every day. And as soon as they finished their homework, they would go to this poster and to a flag book that I have at school, and they'd choose a flag, and they would do their very best to make their flags just right, with just that same design and colors. And they created a flag booklet, worked on it almost every day of the school year. And at the end of the year, we bound that into a really special booklet for them. So they had a lot of fun with it. I hope that you'll have fun with flags as well. And as you make some of these flags at home, you may want to put yours in a booklet, or you may want to kind of make it into a banner where you tape and staple each flag as you do another and another, so it would make a long banner. It's up to you. The directions are on Blackbaud for your parents to take a look at and share with you. Some of the things to keep in mind as you are researching other countries are the language spoken in that country, the largest city, some of the most popular animals in that country, the holidays they celebrate, the popular foods, and so on. And I hope that as you do some of this research and flag drawing next week, that you will share some of your work with us during the Zoom lunch meetings. I really like to see your work. I want to thank you again for the wonderful letters that I've been receiving this week. It has been so much fun to go out to the mailbox, and I've had a letter every day this week. And Ms. Pullman and Mrs. Hovanesian have really enjoyed that as well. So thank you for participating in that creative writing project of learning to address envelopes and write letters. Let's go ahead and review our words from our Word a Day book. This week we had the words nature, wild, nibble, and do you remember the last word from yesterday? Focus. So let's do our review on those 4 words. This is something you need to do when you read. Would it be nature, wild, nibble, or focus? It's focus. Gotta focus on what you're reading. Let it soak into your brain. Tigers and eagles are this kind of animal. Wild animals. A rabbit might do this when it eats lettuce. Takes little bitty bites called a nibble. Plants, rocks, and animals are all part of nature. An elephant is the largest blank animal that lives on land. Wild animal. A mouse likes to blank on seeds, kind of like the rabbit was doing. A mouse also just nibbles little tiny bites. One way to protect blank is to throw trash in containers, not on the ground. That protects nature. and I blank on the screen when I watch a movie or when I'm on a Zoom meeting. Focus on the screen. So our words for this week were nature, wild, nibble, and focus. Now go ahead and take out your writing words booklet. We have 2 words to add today. And these are math words. We're going to add the word multiplication and product. And boy, multiplication has a lot of letters in it, 14 letters. So I'm going to hold this up for you to take a look at as you write the word multiplication. So you're turning to the letter M and writing multiplication. And then to the letter P and write the word product. Product. If you didn't get all of that, you can work on it later. And the reason that we're writing multiplication is I know that you're starting to do some multiplication products on your Saxon papers. And each time that we have this session, we're going to work on multiplication a little bit. And the word product is another word for the answer to a multiplication problem. Remember, sum is the answer to an addition problem. Difference is the answer to a subtraction problem. And product is another word for the answer to a multiplication problem. Multiplication is really just adding equal groups of things. It's one of the 4 elementary math operations. We have addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. When you're in elementary school, those are the 4 operations that you will work with the most. So far, we have learned that any number times 0 equals 0. Any number times 0 equals 0. 1 times 0 equals 0. 1,000 times 0 still equals 0. That is one of our rules of multiplication. Any number times 1 is that number. For example, 5 times 1 equals 5. 5,000 times 1 equals 5,000. Any number times 1 equals that number. So that's a couple of rules to remember. Any number times 0 equals 0. Any number times 1 equals that number. Because this is 5 one time. That's 5. 5,000 one time is 5,000. Multiplication is taking one number and adding it together multiple times. Multiple is another word for many. So for example, if we have 1 times 5, that's 1 5 times. 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1. Multiplication's a shortcut to addition. This equation's much shorter than this one. We're using multiplication here, we're using addition here. So instead of saying 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1, we say 1 times 5. equals that number, so it equals 5. Now what about the number 2? I'm going to make a little chart for you here. Remember our rules. Any number times 0 equals 0. So 2 times 0 equals 0. Any number times 1 equals that number. So 2 times 1 equals 2. Well, how much is 2 times? 2 plus 2 equals 4. What about 2 3 times? 2 plus 2 plus 2 equals 6. 2 times 4 equals 8. 2 times 5 equals 10. What do you notice about all of these products? All of these answers? We're skip counting by 2. We're simply just adding 2 another time as we go down this chart. Now, earlier in the week, we used this calendar to do some math problems. Let's use it to do a multiplication problem today. Horizontally, remember horizontal's across, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 squares in each horizontal row. In each vertical row, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So each horizontal row, 7 squares. Each vertical row, 5 squares. 7 times 5 equals 35. And the way we got this, we know how to skip count by 5s, don't we? So skip counting by 5 7 times, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35. And sure enough, if you count every square on this grid, there's 35 squares. This was a very short way of finding out how many squares are on the grid. 7 times 5 equals 35. And I think we'll stop there with the multiplication problems today. And I have one last thing for you to end our Friday on a happy note. I'm gonna have to walk over here by my videographer. Since we'll be working with the flags of the world. Give me just a second. I thought it would be fun to end our Friday listening to Animaniacs, Nations of the World. We heard this for the first time last week.
And now, the Nations of the World, brought to you by Yakko Warner.
United States, Canada, Mexico, Panama, Haiti, Jamaica, Peru, Republic, Dominican, Cuba, Caribbean, Greenland, El Salvador, too, Puerto Rico, Colombia, Venezuela, Honduras, Guyana, and still Guatemala, Bolivia, then Argentina, and Ecuador, Chile, Brazil, Costa Rica, Belize, Nicaragua, Bermuda, Bahamas, Tobago, San Juan, Paraguay, Uruguay, Suriname, and French Guiana, Barbados, and Guam. Norway and Sweden and Iceland and Finland and Germany now one piece. Switzerland, Austria, Czechoslovakia, Italy, Turkey and Greece. Poland, Romania, Scotland, Albania, Ireland, Russia, Oman. Bulgaria, Saudi Arabia, Hungary, Cyprus, Iraq and Iran. There's Syria, Lebanon, Israel, Jordan, both Yemen, Kuwait and Bahrain. The Netherlands, Luxembourg, Belgium and Portugal, France, England, Denmark and Spain. Guinea, India, Pakistan, Burma, Afghanistan, Thailand, Nepal, and Bhutan, Cambodia, Malaysia, then Bangladesh, Asia, and China, Korea, Japan, Mongolia, Laos, and Tibet, Indonesia, the Philippine Islands, Taiwan, Sri Lanka, New Guinea, Sumatra, New Zealand, then Borneo and Vietnam, Tunisia, Morocco, Uganda, Angola, Zimbabwe, Djibouti, Botswana, Mozambique, Zambia, Swaziland, Gambia, Guinea, Algeria, Ghana. Burundi, Lesotho, and Malawi, Togo, the Spanish Sahara is gone. Niger, Nigeria, Chad and Liberia, Egypt, Benin and Gabon, Tanzania, Somalia, Kenya and Mali, Sierra Leone and Algeria, Dahomey, Namibia, Senegal, Libya, Cameroon, Congo, Zaire, Ethiopia, Guinea-Bissau, Madagascar, Rwanda, Major, and Cayman, Hong Kong, Abu Dhabi, Qatar, Yugoslavia, Crete, Mauritania, then Transylvania, Monaco, Liechtenstein, Malta, and Palestine, Fiji, Australia, Sudan.
Thank you.